Our final speaker this afternoon is Kelsey Klausmeyer.
Dr. Church, Board of Trustees, esteemed faculty, proud parents, and my dear, dear classmates. Today marks a most joyous occasion. Today we celebrate the graduates of 2011. This day of graduation is the culmination of years of study, hard work, dedication, sacrifice, and faith. As you look upon our graduates today, you may not be able to appreciate what all has gone into the making of a naturopathic doctor. The journey has been long and transformative, taking significant amounts of stamina and willpower. As Bill Cosby said in his keynote speech at Carnegie Mellon, you guys continued on where all the non-nerds quit. They said, I'm tired. Why do I have to know this? You guys continued on. That's not nerdy. I think it's very brave, considering all the friends you've lost. But look at all the friends you gained. One could argue that anyone who chooses education does so at the expense of many things. Leisure, hobbies, dating, an income for a period of time, exercise, sleep. And then we kind of come out of this bubble and we have to figure out, like, what is Lady Gaga's new CD, or what a Bieber is. So somewhere towards the end of our first year, friends and family noticed that our graduates had disappeared from their lives. Phone calls were not returned, and they wondered when we were going to come back. Somewhere towards the end of second year, they began to realize we were not coming back. At least not how we were before. These graduates have truly been transformed. A wise professor once described this education as being similar to traversing the digestive tract. We begin at the mouth, and well, we all know how it ends. The initial 2 years involve breakdown, and eventually the student learns to assimilate information, similarly to nutrients being absorbed in the digestive tract. I can't speak for the university, but I am sure each of you are now well-formed and easy to pass. Some of the transformations we've undergone have been rather obvious. We had bigger words in our vocabulary, like epididymis, borborygmus, coccidiomycosis, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, dysbiosis. We even now know what all of that means. We also learn along the way about some new dietary restrictions. And some of us even became wheat-free, gluten-free, dairy-free, nightshade corn and soy-free, and only eat fair trade, organic, locally grown, in-season, non-GMO, and preferably less foods. when we eagerly tried out our new medical equipment. Now, this gave us the perfect opportunity to use all that pathology and physical clinical diagnosis. Thank you for your patience and for staying calm when we told you what we thought was going on. Initially, we held our stethoscopes and reflex hammers, anxiously asking to practice on you. And over the years, you began to call, asking us for health advice. Usually with the caveat of, I know you haven't graduated yet. Thanks, Mom. Going through this education has been an extraordinary adventure, and one that deeply binds each of our graduates together. I wonder if anyone who hasn't been through a similar experience can understand that bond. Let me see if I can give you a sense of this. Day 1, first year, 8 a.m., living anatomy class. We arrived to the first day of our medical education having no idea who each other were or what a living anatomy lab was. And we were instructed to locate and palpate the bony landmarks listed on the syllabus. Many of us looked down at the paper, then to the student on the exam table before us, back to the paper, and scratched our heads. The realization hit. We had to actually touch the person in front of us. First item, pubic symphysis. You all can imagine where that might be. So that's how we were introduced. Over the years, we have seen each other pushed to our limits and occasionally beyond them. We have practiced physical exams, dissected cadavers, performed blood draws, inserted IV catheters, given personal bodily fluids for Clem Lab, studied long into the night, and supported one another when our budding responsibilities seemed too much to bear. Oh yes, these graduates are overachievers in the highest sense. Many of them, in addition to the ND curriculum, have completed other programs. Some even started families and had children while going through the program. Then there are the real hardcore students that dual-tracked it, completing another degree concurrently with the ND, such as a master's in acupuncture or a certificate in midwifery. Perhaps the most important gift this class has given each other, aside from sharing a beer after finals and supporting one another through difficult times, is holding one another true to why we came to Bastyr in the first place. To fulfill the call to be a doctor. This education is a gift, which at times has been difficult to remember when too many things were due, other life obligations were pressing. We were trying to figure out what the heck was going on with that patient. We have those who came before us to thank for the gift of this education. Our naturopathic elders and our teachers who have preserved this profession for us. Many of you may not have realized this, but the light of naturopathic medicine in this world was all but snuffed out not too long ago. And believe me, there are people in our healthcare and political systems that would have liked to see that happen. But this medicine endured. The 4 brave founders of Bastyr dared to be audacious. They came to Seattle and started a naturopathic school, and they were no older than most of our graduates. Today we inherit this profession, and with it the responsibility of nurturing it and growing it, to ensure every American has access to this medicine. Like a small rock dropped into a still pond, the ripple effects of our elders continue to make waves. We have ridden those waves throughout the course of our education, and now we are going to get set free to make ripple effects of our own. Each of us graduates are the realized dreams of our communities. For some of us, becoming a doctor may have been expected, and for others, it was is more than our community could ever have dreamed of. With this title of doctor comes the great responsibility and privilege of transforming our human community. We will enter as doctors into a world in need of good medicine. New toxic chemicals continue to be introduced into our environment at an astounding rate. There is pollution, nuclear waste and oil spilling into the oceans, carbon emissions higher than ever, climate change, and a burgeoning healthcare crisis due to a medical system that has spent too much money and energy treating symptoms and not finding the cause. One cannot be healthy in an unhealthy environment. The world is desperately in need of sustainable medicines that make sense and are cost-effective. Naturopathic medicine has long recognized that what is good for the planet is also good for an individual's health. We enter this world full of possibilities. I encourage each of you to take the stone of your education, drop it into the waters of this world, and make ripple effects of your own. I would also like to end with a few words of wisdom from my mentor, the late Dr. Lorraine Vieira-Jones. She was a friend of Bastyr and a brilliant anthropologist and healer. You cannot take your patients where you yourself have not gone. So always continue to study, learn, and grow. All sickness is heart sickness. Love is the most powerful force on this planet, and you are as far away from yourself as you perceive yourself. So perceive yourself as loving, kind, and competent, and go out and make this world a better place.